So, just a thought. Nobody wants to hear from me, but I just have no one to talk to. Not that it would matter either way. I'll still have these opinions. I made a video the other day about turbo cancers and the COVID shot, and how at the end of the year, all of a sudden, alcohol was the cause of turbo cancers. Anyway, I've got a couple of thoughts here. One is, I can't even use Google anymore. Because when you do, the first thing that comes up is, I can't even remember now. I haven't seen it for a while. AI projected or AI. This is AI. It's basically telling you it's AI. Now, I don't know what it was. It was Grok or some fucking AI thing, which is run by the Jews. Sorry. Everything is sorry. Just is sorry. They're only 0.05% of the entire population, but they pretty much run everything. Sorry. Just look at the owners of the richest and the runners of all the wealthiest things on the planet. They're owned by and run by Jews. Sorry. That probably will not be on the internet soon. Anyway, I looked up how many people died in whatever year. No, just wait. People were looking up questions like that, and who was responsible for the Palestinian Holocaust and shit like that. And Google started spelling out that basically the Jews are responsible, Israel's responsible, and they took Grok. I think it was Grok, one of those AI generated fucking things. They took it down and retrained it to give a different answer. The other day I looked up the deaths. How many deaths go unknown? And AI told me there is every single death does not go past without a cause related to it. That's a lie. I belonged to a group called Died Suddenly. And the thousands and thousands of people that just dropped dead, young people, no reason. Well, sure, it was a heart attack. Sports people dying on the field. It was myocarditis. The most healthy people on the planet, at the top of their field, in the top of their physical shape, are dropping dead from things that they shouldn't be dropping dead of. So it doesn't make sense. Anyways, I don't feel I just Googled how many people died suddenly between 1990 and 2020. I can't find an answer because it always goes 1990 to 2026. Now, I'm not an internet sleuth, so I don't dig into information. Like, I watch podcasts, and people that dug into the information share their information with other people, and then they argue, blah, blah, blah. That's how these things work. Anyway, I'm wondering what this year will be. Because obviously 2020 didn't take away my conspiracy brain. And that's too bad, because I'd rather not see what I see. I forget what I was going to say in this post. I don't trust Google anymore, and I don't I don't have the brain in my head to go to the Canadian Medical Health website of whatever and then look up that thing. I'm not that guy. I'm not smart. SMRT. I don't trust. I can't even trust the internet anymore. Like, I mean, like what when you look up stuff, I can't. I can only trust human beings that have researched stuff on both sides and have them share information, and then me decide who I think's information is correct or not. That's how I get my information. When I Google how many people died in 1990 without cause, the answer is no one dies without a cause. There's always a cause associated to every death. Yeah, okay. We can go that way. Anyway, they say the internet is a bad place for information because it's full of lies and deceit. Did you ever see the clip? It's not AI. He was in a meeting with young people he was mentoring, if that's the word. And he says, how do we get control of the narrative? Because there's too many lies on the internet. How do we get control? He's asking the people. Someone says, TikTok. And BB says, yes, good answer. TikTok, TikTok. We have to get TikTok. Guess who owns TikTok now? Guess who owns TikTok now? Another question he said, who else? Who else do we need to go after? Somebody said something, I'll say Rebel News, but that's not what they said. And he's like, no. X. We know Elon Musk. We know him. He's a good guy. We need to go after Elon. So what Israel is doing, because they run everything, is they're now purchasing and creating a completely different narrative than is true. That's the problem with the internet, is there's too many people speaking truth. So Israel is getting rid of it. It's like when I say I see so many things on the internet. I've never looked up fucking what's her face, Erica Kirk. I've seen her on TV. I watched that whole thing. Her mourning her husband. And there's so many things on the internet, on my Facebook, I scroll by. They're all about poor Erica and how horrible. As, fireworks are going off at his memorial service, and what's his name, Smith, comes out and tells how we gotta hate everybody that's against Israel. And Erica Kirk's going around in her glittery outfit. I've never seen her children, but traveling the country in her pantsuits and sparkly things. And it's all positive. Yet, the majority of us know. We're pretty sure what's going on. Charlie Kirk gave up Israel. Days before he was killed, he turned down donations from his biggest supporters because he said he couldn't back Israel anymore. And a couple days later, he was dead. And the story goes that it was some homosexual loving furry man that shot him and got away. And then turned himself in and then pled not guilty. And then all the stories came up that all the things they were saying were lies. Were not lies, they were untrue. Anyway, my question is, what's it going to be this year? Last year it was alcohol. I don't know what it's going to be this year. Probably not taking vaccines killed a whole bunch of people, and probably not eating fake meat, because there's really good things for you in fake meat or that help your body and your biome system or whatever. You know, it's going to be some other lie. I don't know why I made this video, other than it's really hard to trust anything anymore. So it's becoming really obvious that Israel, the Jewish people, like I said, I don't hate Jews, but the more I watch, the more I question. So they have to get rid of that narrative because everybody sees it. And they're just making it worse. Now they don't even hide it. Anyway, Happy New Year. Not sure why I made this video. Other than removing free speech. Anyone that's against Israel hates Jews. I've always questioned, why did every country want Jews out of their country? And lots of countries let them back in and then fucking kick them out again. Why? This is my answer. Like, I'm talking before World War II. Before World War II, from what I'm understanding, is the Jews genocided over 38 million Christians. Now, I don't remember where that was. It's in Bolivia, Bulgaria, not Bolivia, Belarus, wherever the fuck it was. It was some European country or countries. But the Jews, before World War II, killed 38 million Christians because they were Christians. These are historical facts. Apparently, I've never looked up, but I've heard people that have looked them up and espoused them off, or whatever you say. The Jews, you know, and I always say I hate anti-Zionists. I'm an anti-Zionist. But from what I've seen over the last 3 years, 2.5 years that I've been watching this shit, I've watched programs where reporters go to Israeli families and Israeli people, and it's like 70 or 80% of Israeli Jews don't believe they're being forceful enough with the Palestinians. I've seen where Jewish children are grown up and taught to hate Palestinians. exactly like Palestinians, so the Jews say. I've never seen this, but I have seen it the other way. That Palestinians are taught to hate Jews. Well, let me just say this. If I was born into prison and the people that were holding me captive killed my family members, killed my dad, killed my brother, if you don't understand, you're creating the hate. You don't need to teach a 6-year-old child that sees his little brother's leg get blown off. You don't need to teach him to hate Jews. You don't need to teach him. That's all I'm saying, I guess. It's all a lie. Now, I was just listening to another podcast where this lady is basically saying that the Holocaust backfired on them. The Jewish Holocaust is backfiring on the Jews. Because the Jews said 6 million people died. They killed 6 million people before that. The Jews did. I'm just getting my information from snippets off the internet. And now they're saying that the way they pushed the narrative, they've kind of fucked up, because what they meant to say when they said, never again shall an atrocity like this ever happen. What they, I think, feel bad about is they made the mistake of leaving out the words, never again shall this happen to a Jew. The Jews do believe they are better. They do believe, because they were mentioned in a book that a lot of people call bullshit, used to live on a land called Palestina 2,000 years ago, that's their land. God gave it to them. Now, here's me once again with my thoughts. This is going to be a 20-minute video. Here's me again with my thoughts. There you go. That's my head. It's empty all of a sudden. What was I going to say? Here's me with my thoughts. Nobody cares what my thoughts are. Oh yeah, this is my thought. Old Testament, New Testament. P.S. If you go to Israel and you're wearing a cross, they'll spit in your face if you're a Christian. It's a fact. How do you know it's a fact? Seen it on the internet? Google it. YouTube it. You'll see 50,000 videos of Jews spitting and kicking and harassing Christian people. They're allowed to do it. They're brought up to be told to do that. There's videos of children, 10, 11 years old, harassing Christian women and girls, spitting on them, kicking them, because they're Christian. Yet, we, in theory, live in a Christian country. In theory, I think it's probably still 60% or something like that. It used to be 80 or 90%, but because of immigration, It no longer is that. Anyway, we are a Christian country. The Jews, the Jews are the only religion that I know of that hate Jesus Christ. From what I understand, the Jews believe that Jesus is in hell. Apparently this is in the Talmud or whatever book they use sometimes. I don't know why they have so many different books to follow. It's kind of like Muslims. They got the Quran, and then they got like 3 other books, that Dahid and whatever they're called. They got 2 or 3 other books that explain the book. So here's my question. If we believe in the Bible, and if the Jews believe in the Bible, other than that Christ was king, Christ was God, they believe it all but that. Anybody that is a Christian, or that is a Christian scholar, please get back to me and explain to me how. Now, I understand how I can do this, because I take the Old Testament of the Bible as being the pre-story of what took place 2,000 years ago, or whenever. And I take the New Testament as a split from the Old Testament. Here's the laws. Don't eat bacon. Don't eat anything with 2 stomachs. Don't eat anything with hooves. Don't wear 2 types of cloth. That's a sin. If you find out that your wife was not a virgin when you married her, take her home and have her family stone her to death. If you make this claim and you are proven to be wrong, you must pay the family money. I don't know the volume of money, but these are things in the Old Testament. Then Jesus came. The Son of God came. This is my understanding of the book. And he removed all those laws. He said, okay, this no longer is reality. This is how we got to be here. That's how I see the Bible. And the Jews, to their pleasure or displeasure, could take and add whatever they want to the Old Testament, because the New Testament, what took place in the New Testament doesn't really count, because the guy that was there to say these things, the guy that we had killed because he was a Palestinian, and they didn't like that what he was saying, they had him killed, and they state that he's burning and boiling in human feces and semen. That's where Jesus is. And Mary was a whore. Now, I don't care, the divine pregnancy or whatever. I mean, hard to believe. Then again, so's the earth. But it is what it is. I need to shut up. This is like a half an hour long, and I was just wanting to talk about what's coming next and how the internet's so bad, it's full of fake news and lies and blah, 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 blah. The problem is People are looking at the internet and finding the truth instead of listening to the Jewish-run media. And the Jewish-run media is seeing the problem and saying, oh, we've got to stop this. So we need speech laws. We need hate speech laws. We need to purchase all the main sites like TikTok and Facebook and X and whatever else. Fucking probably Instagram. I don't know. I don't have these things. But they need to purchase them all so they can change the fucking narrative. Just let the truth be the truth. But they can't do that. Sorry. This was a long video. And apparently my conspiracy theories did not go away with the new year. And I'm disappointed about that, and I'm thankful about that. I'm disappointed because if I didn't have the thoughts I had, I wouldn't view the world the way I view it. And this is where I said to somebody one time, ignorance is bliss. And they said to me, no, it's not. That's bullshit. And so many people have said to me, why do you bother concerning yourself with things you can't do anything about? And that's my point. I can't do anything about these things. So if I didn't know anything about these things, like if I didn't know what happened to the American ship that was attacked by Israel in 1967, I think it was a USS Liberty or some fucking thing, that Israel bombed for 90 minutes, over 90 minutes, shot their fucking lifeboats, which is a war crime. And all of this was done so that the United States would attack Egypt. They killed Americans for a false flag. More than once. That's just one I know about. Pretty soon. It's like back in the day when I watched stuff on 9/11 on the internet, there was a lot of shit. Like a lot of documentaries I've watched where they go to explain how floors were locked off months before, certain elevators were not allowed to be used months before, things were taking place in the building that you couldn't explain months prior to 9/11. You can't find that information anywhere on the internet. And this is the information that kind of got me to believing, other than my own fucking eyeballs, right? My own eyeballs 20 years ago, 23 years ago, was like, okay, an airplane? Holy fuck. Another airplane? Holy fuck. Holy shit. I was what? I don't know how old I was. 30, let's say. 35. Fuck. How old was I? I don't know. I don't remember. I don't want to do the math right now. That's because my brain doesn't work normally anymore. I don't even believe it was fucking hit by airplanes anymore. But that's another story. I believed every second of it. I was at work. We all stopped work, especially after the second plane. We stopped working and we were watching the fucking internet news. And we were all like, holy... Anyway, when the first tower dropped, and then the second tower dropped, My brain went, yeah, I don't fucking think so. No, I wasn't a member of NIST, the National Institute of Science and Technology, who did the report, I think, on 9/11. I wasn't a member. I wasn't a scientist. I wasn't anything. I did have eyes. Tower 1. Airplane fuel. Tower 2. Airplane fuel. Building 7. Furniture fire. Never before and never since in history has a steel skyscraping tower ever fallen into its own footprint, or even probably fallen over for that matter, from a fire. In one day, 3 buildings, skyscrapers. I don't think Tower 7 was a skyscraper. I think it was 57 stories, something like that. It held FBI and CIA information, all kinds of information. P.S. The day before, I remember seeing on the news where that guy said, we don't know what happened to $2 trillion in government money. It seems to be missing. We're investigating. The non-airplane that hit the Pentagon, which kind of like Israel, is one of the most videoed and surveilled buildings on the fucking planet. No video of an airplane. I think you get to see 1 video or 2 videos of something blowing up. From what I understand, the precise area where the $2 trillion was being investigated in the Pentagon. These used to be facts. They used to be facts. I don't know what they are now. I don't know if you can find that information anymore. But that's the point. The information is being removed. History is being removed. It's called his story for a reason. And in my opinion, I guess, sorry to say, the Jews seem to be rewriting history. They're making it his story. That's why all these things are being removed. Okay, that's a 33-minute video. Apparently I haven't changed much. Shit. I thought today was going to be a better day. I did wake up and I did do 5 push-ups. I almost died. I'll do 5 more later. Which is horrific for me because 8 years ago I could do 70 push-ups in one shot. Because I worked up to it, right? Like, I mean, I'm talking 15 years ago I had a girlfriend and I needed to be in shape and look good and shit. And at work, I'd scoot off into a corner and just pop out 70 push-ups. And I wouldn't say anything or tell anybody, but, you know, some people go jerk off, I guess, at work. I'd go pump out 70 push-ups. Now I can't do 5. I'll see if I can get that back. Well, probably not 70, but we'll shoot for 20 for now. It's probably an average person's ability. Anyways, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and try to watch what the news is telling you. Wow, this was a long video. Just another lonely day. I should be doing something. But I'm not. Anyway, I can't find the information I'm looking for on the internet because now when you Google shit, the first thing that comes up is AI generated. Who do you think is in control of all this shit? Really? I don't know. Like I said, ignorance is bliss. If I didn't know any of this shit, right or wrong, if I didn't know it, chemtrails, if I didn't know, I'd be way happier. I would be blissful. But because I think I see the world as it is, it horrifies me. And I fucking hate it. And I can't remove this knowledge from my fucking head. So that's why I say ignorance is bliss. And if you disagree with me, and the people that do disagree with me, I consider to be a lot smarter than I am. But either I'm wrong, and they're not really very smart about some things, or they're stupid. But they can't be stupid because they're fucking smarter than I am. 99% of the people I know are smarter than I am. But there are certain things they can't see, choose not to see. I don't understand. Like a few years ago, I was talking to an engineer. Fucking smart dude. An engineer. And he basically laughed in my face and told me how stupid I was. Because I believed that 9/11 was an inside job. He's like, I'm an idiot. So my thought about shit like that is that you're way smarter than me, but you've obviously been brainwashed because you cannot bring yourself to believe that your government is not got your back. These are the same people that were pushing the COVID shit. The same people that think I'm stupid for my theories are the same people that pushed for lockdowns and all this other shit. I didn't go that route. So I was the bad guy because I wasn't fucking brainwashed. But if you go back now and look, no one's apologizing. No one's going to apologize to me for making me feel like a second-class citizen and a baby killer and a grandparent killer. Dude, if I had family, you fuckers, you fucking weak people. Sorry, you fucking weak people. If I had a mother, if I had a grandmother, or a father, or a sister dying in the fucking hospital, you weak fuckers, I'd be in fucking jail right now. I'd be in jail getting 3 meals a day, maybe getting sexually harassed or raped. I don't know. I'd be in jail right now because I'd be throwing rocks through hospital windows. I'd be driving my fucking car into a hospital. I'd be walking into a hospital with a knife or a gun to get to my family member because apparently I wanted to kill them with a virus. Or maybe, just maybe, I wanted to see how you were killing them. By the way, that's another fact, just for fun, just for funsies. I'm not sure how many people died with ventilators. You remember Trump fucking, we've got factories, we're building ventilators, we're sending ventilators all over the world. It's the only way. Most people died on ventilators in hospitals. That's how they were killing people. 40 minutes long. That's how they were killing people. They'd put them on ventilators and then inject them with shit that would shut down their bodies to reduce the spread of the COVID, whatever the fuck they were doing. I remember watching videos of nurses sitting there crying, stating how we are killing these people. I'm telling my superiors that we're killing these people. They don't want to hear it. They got paid for fucking COVID deaths. Doctors got paid to give COVID shots. We just don't see it, right? We don't see it because we're ignorant. We believe that the government is doing everything they can to save the country. Like I said, I'd be in fucking jail right now. There's no way that my government was going to keep me away from my dying mother. Not a fucking chance. I'm just really amazed that I'm fucking amazed that there isn't more people in jail for that crime of harming people to get to their people. I would have harmed people. I know me. I fucking know me. I'm not a violent person at all. I don't like violence. I'm afraid of violence. I'm afraid of everything. Don't put me in a fucking corner like that, because I will be in jail. 100%. Thank God I didn't have any loved ones in my life at the time that were sick and dying that I felt I needed to be with. Like if that was my mom in the hospital and you said I have to talk to her through a window and I couldn't hug my mom, dude, I didn't like my mom that much. I loved my mom. She's my mother. I'm her son. She raised me, blah, blah, blah. I don't even, we all have our opinions. I kind of thought my mom was not a very nice mom. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I had a bond with my mom. I know people. I know good people that listened to the news, took the jab, and I know them. If their parents were in the hospital, dying, and the government said you cannot be with them, 99% of you would have said, oh, okay, I understand. I wouldn't have been one of the 99%. That's my question. How many people, I could Google it right now, but I'll get an AI answer and I just can't believe it anymore. But I would love to know how many people wound up in jail for going against a hospital's orders of not being able to spend time with their dying family member. I think I would be amazed that there's probably, fucking bizarrely, probably no one wound up in jail for disobeying that order, because nobody disobeyed that order. Oh, don't get me wrong. I was afraid when COVID came out. I remember going to a store. I didn't go out much, so I went to work and I came home. That's all I did. That's all I ever did. I'd go to work, I'd come home. I didn't go out, I didn't do things. But I remember going somewhere and some guy coming out of a store. And when he came out of the store, he sprayed down the shit he had in the bag. He sprayed down his door handle. This is in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. He sprayed down his door handle, and then he took off his gloves. I remember going home. I had to go shopping for food. Thankfully, they let me in the store because I was a second-class citizen. I remember going to the store and getting home. And my sister gave me a whole bunch of sanitary shit, and she was all worried. And I remember coming home and actually wiping shit off. Because I remember thinking, okay, I'm going into the store. I'm touching all the things that everybody else is touching. Now I'm standing behind a big plexiglass barrier so that the person doesn't get COVID, and so I don't get COVID. But COVID lives on everything. And the person that I'm being blocked from is touching absolutely every single item that I'm buying. I do remember once, I think my sister gave me a bunch of Lysol wraps or whatever. I remember wiping off all the things. So I did believe, I was afraid. I wound up working at 5 in the morning, and I would drive to work 3:30, 4, whatever, 4:30 to get to work at 5, and there was no one on the roads. And I thought, this is what it looks like. This is what a pandemic looks like. Everyone's fucking dead. The streets are dead. There's nobody. And I'd go to work every day thinking that. Drove home a couple times and there was a big van parked on the side of the highway. It wasn't a highway, it was just getting into Moose Jaw. And I was thinking, like, is that where they're storing dead bodies? Like, this is how dumb it was. Sorry, I gotta stop this. This is fucking 45 minutes long. Don't believe the news you watch, please. Probably you need now to find different ways of looking up information on the internet, like using Google, Grok, whatever else AI things they have. Is if you want the Jewish opinion and the Jewish perspective, then that's where you need to go. Anyways, this is a long one. Longest video I ever made. Happy New Year. Obviously, I haven't changed much in the last 3 years or 4 years. That's too bad. Because the sooner, back to ignorance is bliss, the sooner I change and go along with the narrative, the happier I will be. Hence, ignorance is bliss. If you disagree with me, then you don't know what I'm talking about. Have a great day. Sorry about if you chose to watch this video, I'm not sorry. That's your fault. This is why I don't talk to people. I went out one time and I was sitting at a table with 2 women. Just acquaintances, people I know from the neighborhood. Yeah, it's very rare. And I can't remember what this lady said. She's my age, maybe a year or 2 younger. can't remember what she said. It had to do with some politician or something. And I don't want to argue with people. That's not the thing. That's not me farting, it's my knee on my chair. I don't remember what she said, but in my mind it was like, oh, after that statement, I know that I can't even have a discussion with this person because of what she just said and her conviction of her belief in it. I just knew there was no conversation here. I thought, oh, fuck, you just said that. But then I thought, well, I got to let that go because I can't take that anywhere. Ow, fuck. Anyway, that's my story, and I guess I'm sticking to it until someone can literally come and change my mind without force. Change my mind with logic and facts. Anyway, sorry. Blah, blah, blah. Have a nice day. I'm going to go do 5 push-ups and fucking die doing it. But like I said in my video the other day, do better or die. Well, anything I do is better than what I did yesterday. So, let me just make another quick video here. Because I got thoughts. I got thoughts. I need to get my thoughts out.